So then, a morning final. First time I've seen this at the World University Games. The 5,000 meters in bright, hot sunshine here at the Lohrheide Stadion in Bochum, Wattenheim, the vertiginous arrival of our drone to take us to the start line on the 200-meter mark. So then, off we go, and we will now discover who will manage to take this title that was won by a Frenchman 2 years ago in Chengdu, Simon Bédard. There are two Frenchmen in this race hoping to keep the title in France. And we've seen in other events just how successful other countries have been at keeping the title in their country, even with different athletes. Saw a couple of times it alone happened yesterday. France have actually won this title twice in the last 3 editions. You go back to the World University Games in Chinese Taipei, and it was François Barret who came across the line in front of Johnny Davies of Great Britain and Andreas Wolter of Austria. All of those 3 nations have representatives in this race, and as you can see, they obviously haven't warmed up sufficiently because they've decided to take this out very, very gently. Out the back is the man from Ukraine, that's Andrei Atamanchuk, who goes to the Kamenets-Podilskyi Ivan Ohenko National University. He's got 5 national titles and was 11th in this year's European Team Championships at this distance. So it's beginning to get a little bit quicker, as you can clearly see by the fact they're now 2 by 2. They're almost heading for Noah's Ark at the moment. No threat of rain today, though. Quite the opposite. Despite the heavy humidity, clear blue skies, lovely fluffy clouds, not many of them. Not really ideal, though, for the half marathon we had earlier, and not really ideal for a 5,000 meters. They probably thought that if they put this on in the morning, they would get away with it, but this is the best and hottest start to a day we've had all week. Gauthier still beginning to take it even further, and now it's beginning to be a proper race. We're now beginning to see them go one by one. Kiran Matre, the Indian, has now moved into 2nd place in his first major championships, the man who was 16th in the 10,000 meters, but in a lifetime best. The 2 Brits there, Oliver Smart with bib number 1 and David Malarkey in the top 4. In fact, Malarkey, silver medalist in the 10,000 meters, has now gone into 2nd place in the 5,000. He doesn't want the Kiwi to build up too much of a gap. We've gone through halfway, which is a measure, you can look at the time, just how slow it is. But now it's beginning to speed up. It's all about now who can kick the best, the longest and fastest and sustain it. But the big question is, when will they go? Because we are getting to the time now where the ones who feel like they don't have the kick are going to have to start thinking about the long haul to the finish. They come round to the finish line next time, it'll be 3 laps to go, 1,200 meters. They're effectively now in a 1,500. Collins Kiprotich in front. And he's beginning to try to push them forward. But again, you can see how he's concertinaed up again. Everybody just thinking about when to go. Moving out onto the outside kid is Beggershaw. He's almost in lane 3. In fact, he is in lane 3. You don't really want to be that far out. You're adding meters to your race. But again, at this sort of pace, not so important as when the pace is a lot faster. Here we go, we're thinking about it. To squeeze it through on the inside is the Kiwi. That's Gauthier again, coming past Malarkey. He's decided that maybe he's pulling the trigger with 1,000 meters to go. Malarkey, though, still there. He's been a constant in that front part. He's never been really lower than 3rd. and he's looking comfortable. Neat, compact style. Kidis Beggershaw there in the white and red of America now decides he's going to go to the start as we approach the penultimate lap. 800 meters to go, and Kidis Beggershaw looks like he's making a break. The race really now has started. Malarkey is going with him, but nobody has been dropped yet. Nobody in this final at all is out of contention. The only man I would say is maybe in a slight bit of problems is the man at the back, Thomas Termot. He's beginning to get dropped. Winding it up at the front. Beggershaw trying to stretch them. It's very late in the day, though, for the man from the Adams State University in Alamosa to break. It's the bell next time round. David Malarkey goes ahead of the American, and he's followed by the Frenchman, Arthur Gervais, who was the fastest in the heats. The bell sounds, Malarkey takes them out. He went for gold in the 10,000 meters and was overtaken by Brian Moussau in a splendid finish to that race. And now he's been overtaken here on the first bend. It's the Belgian, Kobe Hermans, who's now trying to stretch them down as they go into the back straight. They're all coming now. Over the top comes Vid Botana of Slovenia from the University of Ljubljana, a 9-time national champion with plenty of experience in the junior ranks. 200 meters to go. Collins Kiprotich now hits the front, and the sprint is really on. Through goes Gervais. Malarkey beginning to suffer. Herman's still there. Also the Austrian is coming through as well. Marcel Tobler. But coming away, it's going to stay with France. Arthur Gervais will take the title. Malarkey comes through to take the silver again. A slow time, 15 minutes and bits, which is what a lot of the racers have been left in at the end of that. You can't underestimate that, even though that was a slow race in these conditions and with the pace that was built into that last 2.5 laps, it has left them absolutely floored, literally and figuratively. But he gets the gold ahead of Malarkey and Kiprotich. And Manchuk missing out on medal by 1/100th of a second. It's the men's 3,000 meters steeplechase. Off we go then. 7.5 laps of the track, a variety of barriers to take over and one water jump, of which they will not go over in the first lap. Already it's the Belgian Van der Putten who's gone in front. Round the outside is coming the Japanese Tetsu Sasaki. Caranjan, the tall Luxembourger, inside him. And it's Sasaki now who's decided he's going to go in front. The two Americans well placed early on. And it's good to see a half-decent pace at the start of this final, because this morning's 5,000 metres got off at an absolute walk almost. We had the walks this morning and we got to the final for the 5,000. It didn't feel like much had changed until it all kicked off towards the end. At the back, the second Luxembourger, Gilles Weiterding. And they attack the water jump for the first time. Very humid today, plus 90%. The clouds have come in again, but they don't seem too threatening this evening, unlike the last few days. Going well is the Spaniard, Alejandro Quijada Sanchez from the Polytechnic University of Madrid, the outgoing European under-23 champion. And he's decided that he's going to take it up. Japanese drops back into third. Two Americans still going reasonably well. McManus from Montana State University and Owen Smith, his fellow Montana teammate and US teammate here. Loping stride of Ruben Caranjon, national record holder for Luxembourg. Goes to university in Belgium, though, at the University of Liège. Was in the heats of the Olympic Games last year in Paris. Just to show you the crossover between the World University Games, whether it be you start off here and go else into the major championships, or vice versa. It's happened. This is the first athletics championships where we haven't had a few major Olympic champions or world champions coming to compete. Beginning to stretch them out. This is a good push by Quijada Sanchez. Looks like it's Poland against Japan for the bronze medal, but there are a few trying to catch up behind them. Amongst them is the Turk, Kuma Özkan, the youngster who was 11th at this year's European Under-23s in Bergen, just before this World University Games opened up. So then Caranjon decides he will take up the running, obviously deciding that the pace that was being set by Alejandro Quijada Sanchez wasn't quite up to scratch. And they're again beginning to go away from those behind them. The two fighting out for bronze medalists are about to be joined by the young Turk, who goes to the Balaskir University. There you can see the battle. This is good work from the Turkish athlete. He hasn't tried to sprint across. He's gradually worked his way up, just gently increasing his pace to bridge the gap. Caranjon, a loping stride. He's got a bit of the stride of Mark Rowlands about him, the former British athlete. All shoulders. So then, Özkan is now with the bronze medal contenders and has gone past them. 800 meters to go. The two leaders are already over the first of the last barriers in this race. Looks like the goose is cooked for the Japanese Tetsu Sasaki from the Waseda University in Tokyo. And it was fourth at the Asian Championships this year. Went to the World Cross Countries last. And a sustained burst from Ruben Caranjon is gradually breaking his Spanish rival's heart. Over the water jump for the penultimate time. Well, we've had a number of firsts for countries in various events this week in track and field, and it looks like Luxembourg are on their way to adding to that list here in the 3,000 meters steeplechase, unless the Spaniard can do something about it, looking to become the first champion in the men's event since Cesar Perez in 2003. But he's not going to catch up. He's looking very, very strong. Ruben Caranjon on his way. The fastest in the field on paper is showing that he's the quickest on the track as well. A little look back to see where the gap is. Wondering whether he can start celebrating. He's 20 meters in front, and unless things go awfully wrong down the home straight, he's going to come home to gold. The crowd on their feet. And Ruben Caranjon, the 23-year-old representing Belgium and the University of Liège, wins gold at the World University Games. Silver goes to the Spaniard, Alejandro Quijada Sanchez, and a long gap. And it's Istvan Palkovic of Hungary who takes the bronze. So confirmation of gold for Ruben Caranjon in a new FISU Games record of 18:46. A new lifetime best for silver medalist Alejandro Quijada, and the bronze medal going to Istvan Palkovic, ahead of a new personal best for fourth place, Kuma Özkan. The women are out for the 5,000 meters. So what kind of form can Machado show tonight? She was 6th in the 10,000 meters, 4 places behind that woman of Kenya. Sarah Wanjiru then looking for the gold that eluded her. They've gone through 2K, the 5,000 meters in 6:19. It's in excess of 15 minutes 40, so they're off of the games pace at the moment that was set by Portugal's Jessica Augusto in 2007 in Bangkok, but they are on course here for a title because Machado is right there on the inside. She and Bronte Oates have been dictating the pace ever since the beginning. They've yet to really light any touch paper yet, so whilst you're away at that high jump, you didn't really miss too much in terms of breaks or anything like that. Nothing has really happened. You can see that Emily Parker of Great Britain on the inside is the woman who is next door to the two Kenyans, Judy Kosgei and Sarah Wanjiru. She's the real danger here. Sarah Wanjiru, a 15-minute dead personal best. It's amongst the better times of these women, but at the same time, she's only gone 30 seconds to that in 2025. So, and she's also got a 10,000 meter in her legs as well. So, but much like some of them have, including Machado, who was 6th in that race. 1 place behind the woman that she's running with now, wearing number 9 for Australia, Oates. Just dropping off the back there is Carolina Schaefer, the second German, the 10,000 meters under 23 European Championship bronze medalist this year. In fact, only a week or so ago. Machado, little look up. Still has the lead and is still checking around. Still just making sure that nobody goes. Wanjiru well placed there. Two Britons also tucked in, going next to each other, Parker and Anderson. Both of them with personal bests of around about 15.5 minutes. And the pace is slower than that, so it should be comfortable for them. Little problem for the French woman there, Julia David-Smith. She almost tripped over somebody, but managed to recover her poise, wearing the blue of France, just inside of Kosgei of Kenya. See her there, just pushing by and trying to get behind Emily Parker. The Spaniard, Escudel, or Romero Escudel, also going well. She's a bit slower than the others, at nearly 16 minutes for her personal best that she set this year. We've gone through 3,000 in 9.5 minutes. So the pace still around about 15:40, a little bit over that. British athletes have decided they're going to go to the front, and Machado has dropped just in behind them. A little bit of team tactics coming in from the Brits. Well, Parker goes to Loughborough, which is the main sports university in the UK, but Anderson is stateside at Columbia University. But the two still finding each other. Wanjiru now decides that she's going to come through. I wonder if that will encourage Koskay to come a little further forward. Judy Jepkovic-Koskay at the back there, 24 years old, following her younger teammate who was medalled, and I'm afraid that the early front runner Bronte Oates looks like she's now beginning to suffer. Dropping back with the, is it the Indian Seema, I think? Yep, just dropping off. The Sri Lankan Vijayasuriya still there, but she's towards the back of the pack as well. She's wearing the blue with the green and orange shoulder pads, if you like. Wanjiro then picking it up. Such an impressive run the other night, as she followed Clara Lucan all the way home to get that silver medal. Still a big pack of women very much in the fight. Parker took them through 4,000 meters in 12:44. So again, it's a fairly steady pace, not much variations in the kilometer times. Parker, to see they're now beginning to push. And Machado looks like she's beginning to hurt. And the defending champion is going backwards. Coming to the bell, Parker, followed by David Smith of France, followed by the Sri Lankan Vijayasuriya. These three beginning to get away. Wanjiro, the 10,000 meter silver medalist, is beginning to suffer too. And the Frenchman is gone. David Smith down the back straight. This is her kick. Next to go past Parker is the Sri Lankan, and she's moving too. The medals look like they're sorted, but in which order? Fabulous pushing this. Julia David-Smith, at 22 years old, who went to the European under 23s and finished fourth just outside the medals in Bergen, Norway. But she's going to come through here, upgrade not just to the podium, but to the gold itself. Brilliant run. A gold for Julia David-Smith of France. Silver to Sri Lanka and Vijayasuriya. And a bronze for Emily Parker of Great Britain. So then confirmation of Julia David-Smith taking the win here in the World University Games in a new lifetime best of 15:34.57. Seema of India taking the silver, a magnificent run by her, and Emily Jane Parker of Great Britain taking the bronze medal.